our friends from the embassy are here with us today. So we'd like to welcome to speak His Excellency Wael Aboul-Magd, Ambassador of Egypt to Canada.
Father Shenouda, Father Barsoum, clergy representing the various denominations here in Canada, representatives of the Government of Canada, Excellencies, Ambassadors, and members of the Diplomatic Corps in Ottawa, dear fellow Egyptians, it is with a heavy heart that I come today to join you all in mourning the passing of a great Egyptian, His Holiness Pope Shenouda III, a distinguished and prominent religious leader, a learned theologian, a skilled preacher, a talented author, a spiritual father, and a man of God who devoted his entire life to the service of humanity. But as is the case with all men of great stature, their passing provides us with an opportunity to celebrate their lives and to recommit to all which they stood for and fought for throughout their lives. Much has been said about the virtues of Pope Shenouda, and much more will be said here today and all over the world for many years to come. Many will recall his wisdom and how he dealt with the countless challenges he confronted. Others will praise his compassion towards the needy and the less fortunate in life, and how he made it his mission to ensure that none of the Church's followers were forgotten or without the basics of life. Yet others will remember his utter humanity in dealing not only with those who revered and respected him, but equally, and perhaps more significantly, his humanity towards those who disagreed with any of his views. Our late Pope was indeed a man of countless virtues. But with so many virtues and so precious little time, I will seek your indulgence and share with you what I, as an Egyptian, and many others like me, have learned from our late Pope. I had the pleasure of meeting Pope Shenouda on only a few occasions, the last of which was in August 2010, prior to my departure to Canada, when I was privileged to spend some time with His Holiness. And indeed, that meeting had a profound impact on me. And I, like many others, certainly learned much from this great Egyptian man. We learned from him that anyone can be angry. Anyone can be outraged and use harsh language, but only the few possess the inner peace and the wisdom to face adversity and hardship with compassion. We learned from him that while words can have great meaning, silence can be even more profound. We learned from him that while spirituality and piety are virtues we should all strive for, hard work, good organization, and modern thinking are indispensable qualities in anyone wishing to serve others. We learned from him that the rewards of selflessly helping those in need far exceed the reward of any other act or activity. We learned that Egypt is not a land we live in, but rather a land that lives within us, and many of us are always proud to quote him in that. We learned to love life, and everyone and everything in it, and that a man of God, a true man of God, cannot have room in his heart for anything but love. Let me share with you a few verses of a poem written by our late Pope in his moving, eloquent Arabic. نحب هذا الوطن ونحب ما فيه، نحب نيله وأراضيه وشوارعه وحواريه ومزارعه وصحاريه، نحب صناعه وفلاحيه، نحب مستقبله وحاضره وماضيه، نحب علمائه ومرشديه، نحب أقباطه ومسلميه، نحب هذا الوطن حين يرضى وحين يغضب، نحب حين يمنح وحين يمنع، أحب فراعنة أجدادي وأحب أرضه أرض ميلادي، أحب نيله ليس فقط وهو يجري في الوادي بل حينما يجري في فؤادك وفؤادي. In these short verses, the word love was mentioned more than 10 times. I cannot imagine that this was coincidental. On the contrary, I truly believe it was our Pope, once again, instructing us, guiding us, educating us to love our country, to love one another, and to love life itself. To conclude, I wish to refer to a characteristic of our late Pope, which strikes me as perhaps the most prominent of his many attributes, namely his unqualified, absolute, and total Egyptianness. For while he was well-traveled and had experienced many cultures and civilizations, our late Pope could never be anything but Egyptian. He was in fact the embodiment of what it means to be Egyptian. I do not want to exaggerate the positive traits we Egyptians tend to think God has bestowed upon us, and in fact, it is not easy to describe exactly what I mean. But anyone who has had the privilege of meeting our Pope would understand, would know what it means to be the son of an ancient land with the benefit of 7 millennia of accumulated history, would appreciate and recognize the influences on him and on all of us of our pharaonic civilization, of our proud Coptic and Muslim heritage, be it in the way we talk, or in how we celebrate our holidays, our superstitions, our sense of humor. Being an Egyptian is being all of the above. And knowing Pope Shenouda was like having a window into the soul of Egypt. It saddens me, ladies and gentlemen, to come and stand here before you today as we mourn Father Shenouda. He taught us so much. He never spoke of persecution. He was a man of love, of compassion. Even in his ecumenical work, it reveals the true character of the man who unified and did not like to separate, who never used harsh language in describing anyone or any situation. Finally, I think our Pope would not have hoped to leave a better, more enduring legacy than his legacy of love for one and for all. That is why I think what we owe him most is to continue to carry this message of love. Our dear Pope, you will be dearly missed. And just as you always brought us Egyptians together throughout your life, you have once again brought us together as you are leaving us behind. And as we are all gathered here today to celebrate your life, we are comforted by the fact that your message of love will forever live in each and every one of us. I thank you.